It was about 2010. I met 4 Singaporeans and I was with them for 4 days. And I took them around all the sites and whatever. I had a really good time with them. There was no end for me apart from I just wanted them to show me city. I then took on Stanley Street, which was a building that had a £9 million debt attached to it from Allied Irish Bank, and we managed to pick it up for 800k. And then I set about raising money for that. The Singaporeans at the same time, a year later, phoned me up and said, we're coming over, we really enjoyed your company, we'd like to just take you out for a meal. And I said, really strange that you called, because I've now took on a building myself, which is Stanley Street, and I'd love you to get involved and invest in that building. They were delighted. 4 weeks later they came over, they saw the building, but thankfully I'd sold all the units. They were then frenzied by this and wanted to get into something else. I then said, I'm looking at another building. That brought me to 30 James Street, which is this building here. Just before I purchased this building, I met up with 4 Singaporeans. The Singaporeans weren't even allowed in the building because I wasn't, because they didn't own it. But I said, I'm about to buy this building, I'm going to put my deposit down and I'm going to buy it. They invited me over to Singapore, and I didn't know what I was walking into. And not forgetting, I'd been bust. So, banks were closed to me, any way to raise funds were closed to me, apart from what seemed to be an opening for me, which is the Singapore investors. I turned up at Singapore, got off a plane, went right into a room which is about 10 times larger than this, and there were 700 Singapore investors sitting in front of me. And I had to get up for an hour and a half and do a pitch. And I'd never done it before, the bottle had gone, and I didn't know what I was saying, and I just carried on rambling on and on and on. But I had some pictures of the actual building. I'm just going to stop that there for a minute. The guy who organised this then came on after about an hour and a half and said, right, you've all heard what Loddon's got to say. Anyone who wants to purchase one of these 65 rooms, something like £5 million sale value, anyone who wants to buy, put your hands up. All the rest, thank you very much, we'll see you next month. 400 hands went up. So I'm sitting there, wow, this is strange, So then he says, Loddon's is now going to get it up close and personal, but he's going to sit in the middle of you, all crowd around him, you can touch and feel him, you can ask him questions. Another hour and a half went by. I'm like, this is really strange. Anyway, 400 hands went up to buy them. The guy came back on again and said, right, I want you to form an orderly queue. I'm not kidding, by the way, it's not a joke. I'm going to give you a piece of paper, write your name on the paper. When you finish on the paper, put it in a hat, queue up, and then we will pull out the names out of a hat. I'm not kidding. So the first one come along, pick the name out of a hat, Yinghua, and I've won, stands over in the corner. I'm like, you haven't won, I've won. You ain't won nothing. So as he went and stood in the corner, then another 60 odd guys came down, women, whatever, picked out, and they all stood orderly over in the corner. The others were like, the guy came back on, very sorry, you've lost out the chance to buy this amazing opportunity. Please come back next time, but hopefully we'll find another deal for you. I think it raised something like just shy of £5 million. Now just think of where I'd been, bust, lost everything, couldn't get out of bed, got myself out, got myself back on the game again. Just happy to someone to even say to me, come and see our investors. And then all these people are queuing up, so I'm getting back on the plane, I'm thinking this ain't gonna happen, there's no way this happens, because normal ways are banks and whatever, and banks had left the game, banks weren't involved in investing anyway, and they certainly wouldn't invest in me because I'd just gone bust. And when I come back, 4 weeks later, I had just shy of £5 million. So I'm really happy to say that we've now gave a letter now to all of our original investors in 30 James Street. And they're in a position now of accepting an offer for us to buy back all the individual rooms, which will be exactly what we stated to them when we first I asked them to get involved in this investment. And we've now got a fantastic valuation on the building. We have made great money, the investors have made great money, and we've done exactly what we said in the tin, which is invest in, be our partners, and at the end of a 3-year period, we will buy you out, giving you an extra uplift to the money that you invested originally. And I'm proud to say we've now done that.